Awesome. Welcome everyone to the Epic Dream Team training call for Monday, June 8th. We have Emily with us. I'm so excited to get started. So for those of you who haven't met Emily yet, she's a new coach on our team. Her and I went to college together. We were in a sorority together that we both quit. And we were friends on Facebook. So, part of it, when you become a coach, you're adding people to your network. I have a training video on that, how to expand your network, if you want to take a look at that. Using those same techniques that I share in that training video, I add people from college, high school. Actually, Emily and I were already friends on Facebook because of because Facebook started the year that we met each other, actually. So while I was in Cancun, in April, Emily messaged me and said she wanted information on the coach opportunity, and here we are. In May, she crushed it with Emerald and Success Club 10. And what I really love is that every tool, every training we go through, as soon as Emily gets off the phone with me or off the Zoom, she goes and implements it, like immediately. And then the next week when we talk, she has questions. And she has questions because she used that information immediately. And it's kind of like if you don't use something, you lose it. It's really true. If you don't use something, you lose it. But she doesn't lose anything because she implements and practices and takes action on it. And so I am so excited for her future. In her first month, her first full calendar month, she was also, on top of earning Emerald and Success Starters and Success Club 10, and now qualifying for customer leads and Shakeology leads, she also was able to pay her car payment with her income from Beachbody. And she doesn't like to talk about finances, so we won't go into those details, but super excited for her. So without further ado, I'm going to have her on the line. I have no doubt that she will be a diamond coach by August 19th and be on our cruise, because she just sets goals and crushes them. So Emily, would you like to share with us a little bit about your story and how you became a coach?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm Emily, and I've been a coach, like Christy said, since about mid-April. And so a little bit about me. I'm a pastry chef. I've been in the culinary industry for a few years now, and I love it. I love being a chef, but for me, I had a real aha moment. I'm turning 30 soon, and I just kind of thought about what I wanted my life to look like, from here on out. And I realized, or I guess I should back up a little bit. I had always thought that my dream was to open up my own bakery. And I thought that with opening my own bakery, I would suddenly get all this freedom. I would be able to come and go as I want. I would have all this creative freedom. I would have all this time freedom. And that, of course, I would be very successful right off the bat and would, not have to worry about finances. And then, just these past 6 months, it's really dawned on me that that is really not going to happen if I go and open my own bakery. If I were to open my own bakery, I would likely be chained to it, for lack of a better word, for possibly, 10 years. And I would have no free time. I would be there all the time. Financially, I would have to invest probably about $500,000 that I don't have. And so I would be in massive debt. I would be just living at the bakery. And I just was like, wow, that's not actually what I want. And so I was thinking about, what do I want? Well, I want time freedom. I want financial freedom. And, of course, I still want creative freedom, but I can do that at home, and bake. So I have been watching Christy for the past 4 years on Facebook, ever since she started, like pretty much day one that she started as a Beachbody coach, and I have watched her, and I have watched her progress, and I see all her posts, about how she, took control of her life, and she made a decision, and she worked incredibly hard to get where she is, and now she gets to have that time freedom and financial freedom and all those freedoms that, she's always talking about. And I was like, I could do that too, I realized something as a chef, I love to train people and watch people succeed. And I was like, well, I can do that as a coach too. And I can still help people and train people. And I've always been into fitness and, and kind of living a healthy lifestyle. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to see what it's about. And so I talked to her and I was like, yeah, let's just, let's give it a shot. Let's do this. So, and I have not looked back, and it's been a great decision for me. So I guess
I love how I love how you talked about the bakery and how you had all these ideas of what that would look like, and then come to the realization of working for people who own their own bakeries, because you're a pastry chef at a bakery where someone else owns it, and knowing that, oh wait, that's not actually going to give me all these things. I think that's a big thing that Shailene Johnson talks about a lot in her personal development series, is that you have these ideas of what you want to be, whether it's a personal trainer or whatever it is in life, but really to sit down and look at those people who have those things, and what is their life like, and what does that really entail? Do your research on it. And so I love that you did your research before you got like $250,000 in debt and said, oh, I still have to come up with another 250, and I'm chained to the bakery now. So I love that you did that and kind of figured out, what it is that you wanted out of life. And the cool thing is with the coach opportunity, you love to bake. You can bake and actually promote your business that way. So I think it's really exciting. If I had the talents that you did, I would use them for coaching.
Yeah, I know. I definitely need to incorporate my culinary skills more into what I'm doing. So I definitely have some stuff in the works, so that'll be coming. But yeah, that was totally another thing I took into account. I was like, I can totally teach people, how to bake a little bit more on the, on the healthier side. And if I ever do get the itch to go and bake something in some giant quantity like I do at work, well, I can go rent some kitchen space and go get that out of my system. So, it's not like suddenly pastry is not going to be a part of my life, which was something Christy and I talked about originally, because I was worried that that part of me would have to die, which I don't want it to.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because that's really what the coaching opportunity is about. It's being able to take what you're good at, what you love doing, and incorporating it. And, everybody needs health and fitness. Everybody has to eat. So actually you have a really good, talent that you get to share with people. And it doesn't always have to be healthy. People love the unhealthy stuff too. But baking something that's healthy, and then doing the real dirty version, and then doing the healthy version, and letting them choose what they want to do. So many ideas, and that's really what coaching is all about. If you guys are a brand new coach, you want it to be you. And Emily was really good in the beginning, our first conversation that we had, about asking a lot of questions to make sure that she's like, I don't have to eat healthy for the rest of my life and never have a baked good again, right? I'm like, oh no, dude, I have baked goods on the daily.
Yeah.
I love them. So love that. So you started, and you dove right in, and you finished May with Success Starters. You'll get a free, you earned a call with Carl Deichler this month, and Success Club 10, Customer Leads, Shakeology Leads, Emerald. Incredibly successful month of May. How did you do it? What are your biggest tips?
Okay, so I have five main tips. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the business activity tracker. That's probably my biggest tip. Is I do everything on that tracker. I do Monday through Saturday. I don't typically work on Sundays. So no secret with that. I mean, I just do what it tells me, and I just do it every day. So that's my number one tip, is to definitely just do all of the activities on the business activity tracker and do them consistently, and you'll totally see results. And then my second tip is, one of the parts of the business activity tracker is being proof that the products work. I think that's on the business activity tracker. Or, that you're supposed to be working out and drinking your Shakeology every day, which I do. But for me, so I started with 21 Day Fix, and I followed that program to a T. I personally, I didn't do any cheats or anything like that because I wanted the best results, because I wanted people to see what was possible with that program. And I had awesome results, and I was able to share those. So definitely, being proof the product works is amazing, because I had people message me that saw my pictures and was like, oh my gosh, you look awesome. What do I have to do? So that totally works. And then my third tip is ask a lot of questions. Christy knows, because she is my coach, that I ask a ton of questions. For me, there's so much information. There's so many trainings we have access to, in the coach online office in itself, just everything. I constantly have questions. And so I think that it's so important to ask a lot of questions, because we do have a lot of information coming at us all the time. And I don't know, I just think to fully understand it and to be able to implement it to the best of its ability, you have to ask a lot of questions. And so,
I love no question. And the thing with you is it's not just asking questions, but once you do ask it, you go and immediately implement. And I think that's something that really stands out, because you have the answer and then you're using it, so you're not forgetting it, because now you're putting it into practice. And then you come back with more questions so that you can perfect whatever that training was that you learned and implemented. And so, yeah, asking questions and taking action, because you ask a lot of questions, but the one thing that stands out, and I love it, because the one thing that stands out to me is those questions never go. Have you guys seen that little post on Facebook where it says ask hole? Like, you're not that person, because you ask a ton of questions, but you take action immediately. And I have no problem anytime you ask me a question, because I know you're going to turn around and use that information to help somebody else.
Yeah, and for me too, with asking a lot of questions, because as I build my team, I want to be able to answer those questions for them. So obviously I want it to know for myself, but I also want to know for my current coaches and my future coaches, so that I can be the best coach and leader for them as well. And then my fourth tip was to be social in your online groups. So like in Epic Dream Team, and then I'm also part of a group, a rolling kind of challenge group called No Jiggle June. And I like to post in both of those on a daily basis, because it's easy to kind of feel isolated in this job, because it is pretty much all online. And so I think it's really important to stay connected to your team and to other people every day, because it helps keep you motivated, it helps keep you on track, and it just helps you feel connected. And then my last tip was to be part of a mastermind group. I just got done with a group with Christy, an Emerald group, and I'm moving on to a new one. And that was just so helpful, because A, you can ask a lot of questions, and then B, you can talk to other people who are in your same shoes, and they're going through some of the same struggles. And so you don't, if you think that you're alone in these struggles, you're not. And it's kind of nice to, hear about that from other people, and you guys can talk about, things that you're doing that are working, what's not working. You can kind of bring each other up, all that stuff. So I really encourage you to definitely be part of one of those groups.
Awesome. And so just to go back to, so you're saying business activity tracker 6 days a week. I love that, because your tracker gives you a list of everything that you need to do daily that's going to produce results. And it's kind of like that three-legged stool. If you take one thing out, like you're not drinking your Shakeology, you're not doing your workout, like that stool is going to crumble. If you're not inviting, that stool is going to crumble. If you're not expanding your network, that stool is going to crumble. And so this ensures that you stay on track with all of the behaviors consistently. And then you do it 6 days a week, which is awesome because you have that goal column. So you can put in what your goal is for the week for each thing. And if you get it done in 3 days, you get it done in 3 days. Everything else is extra. So it definitely can be done in 5 or 6 days or 3 or 4 days. The business can fit and be tailored to each person and the time that they have.
Exactly. And even for me with that, like, I feel like I'm actually constantly changing, what I'm doing, because like in the beginning, like I felt really scrambled, and even now, like I still feel like scrambled sometimes. So I am always taking that business activity tracker and I'm maybe making a new schedule for myself, because I still work full time and I have a spouse and I have dogs and a house and all this stuff. And so having a super structured schedule for me is very important. But that wasn't how I started, and it keeps, progressing and changing. And that is the nice thing about the business, is that I can do that and still have it work.
Yeah, and still see results while you're trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
Because let me tell you, I feel like after 4 years, I finally feel like I have a lot figured out, but there's still a lot that I don't have figured out. Yeah. And then you said, follow your program to a T. So you did 21 Day Fix. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring that up because there were quite a few people that you had messaged and invited who you got crickets from. You didn't hear responses from. And then when you posted your 21 Day Fix results, had people messaging you that originally gave you crickets, right?
Yeah, I did. It was so funny. Yeah, the one that stands out was this one girl that I used to work with, and she, hello. Yeah, like I had messaged her twice, one original just cold invite and then a follow-up and nothing. And then I posted my before and afters and it was like instant message, like, what did you do? I must do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So
I love it because I always say that, and as a new coach, you do, like, you're messaging, you're hearing no's or not right now or crickets, and you're like, is this normal? Or do I suck? And and you don't. Just that. I mean, people do the same thing to me, but as you're doing all those things on the tracker, which you were doing all of them, those people do come back to you. And it's exciting to see that. One other thing that really stood out when you were a new coach is we have 4 different inviting scripts in Epic Dream Team. Mm-hmm. And you took those scripts and you mixed and matched and used them and tried them to see which one fit you best and kind of made your own, a combination. So I definitely, you can talk a little bit about that, but I definitely think that has a huge impact because I see a lot of coaches getting started and just messaging people. And we talked about this last week. You're reading or listening to Go Pro. Yeah. And how words just kind of come out of our mouth. Like when we're messaging someone, okay, let me know. And you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't tell somebody to let you know because they're not really good. Life's busy. They're not going to get back to you. So that's one thing with the scripts is it kind of keeps you on track. And I know for me, like I follow scripts and I'll hear coaches say, oh, well, people just want 21 Day Fix. They don't want Shakeology. Like I don't really have that happen to me because I follow the scripts. So I think that was also a big thing of when you got started, you dove in right away with those and started using them.
Yeah, well, they were so helpful too because I was just like, well, gosh, I don't want to be some like rando, online messaging people being like, hi, I'm a Beachbody coach, like need any help? I was like, no, I don't want to sound dumb. So those scripts were so helpful because it just took all that guesswork out and it actually took away a lot of my fear because I felt like I was armed with good scripts and I, knew what to say. Even though, I'd only been a coach for like a day. So they were super, super helpful. And yeah, like Christy said, like I mixed and matched and it was definitely some trial and error. And I've kind of found, which one that I feel like sounds like me the most and the one that I feel works the best. So. they're definitely a really good tool to use.
Awesome. And so this month you already have 3 Success Club points.
Yep.
And I'm kind of just assuming here that your goal is Success Club 10. But
yep.
I know you have, you've signed up a new coach this month already, and you probably have another coach in the works. So let's see, we are in June, 2 more coaches in July, 2 or 3 in July, 2 or 3 in August. So Diamond is very close.
It is. I really want to hit it by the 19th, August 19th, so that I can qualify for that cruise and just so I can get, have more people experience what I'm experiencing, because I love it. And so I think everyone should do it. But yeah, that's definitely my goal. And yeah, definitely Success Club 10 is kind of my non-negotiable for every month.
Awesome. And I think the biggest thing, it's not that you didn't have fears, because I know we talked a lot about them at the beginning, but you had followed me for 4 years. And so in a sense, you kind of had this belief and confidence already that you knew that it works. You just didn't know what to do. And so when you got that information and you had it in front of you, you just, fears and all, ran with it. And for me, that's what stands out the most, is that you've created success in your business because you follow what we teach. By the time the intern group started with our mastermind sessions and your business activity tracker, you were kind of beyond the intern group. So we got you started in Shine because it's a little bit more advanced. But that's what a coach hopes for all of their personally sponsored coaches. And everybody's at different points in the business, whether maybe they have more fears or they don't have the belief and confidence yet. So sometimes it takes longer. But I love that, I love that you followed me for 4 years, because look at you, you dove in and you're creating a lot of momentum and already helping people and having an impact, financially as well. So
I guess sorry, I just want to interrupt. One last thing that I wanted to mention was, all the personal development in Beachbody, everyone's always talking about figuring out your why. And I think that is probably my number 1 tip, is to figure out your why, because I feel like I have such a strong why, why I'm doing this. I can see what is possible. And I feel like without that, it would be hard to stay motivated and to hear all those no's. But because I have such a strong drive, because I know what I want for my future and I know that I can get there by doing this, I feel like it's crucial to have that reason driving you, because without it, I feel like, you have a higher chance of, petering out or getting down on yourself or, something like that. So,
or being a hobby coach, which is fine. Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say that's my number 1 tip, is figure out your why and have that keep you going.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think number 1 is your why, because I know when I started as a coach, I was working full time, just like you, and then training for an Ironman, which takes up a lot of time. And Paul and I had just started dating, so had a new relationship. So it's all exciting, and you want to spend all your extra time with that person. And it could have been really easy to be like, oh, he wants to hang out tonight. Let's put the business on the back burner kind of thing. Yeah. But I had that, no, I'm building this future. I'm going to get out of my job. I'm going to have financial freedom where I don't have to stress about gas money. And you make it work, and those no's, everyone's different, but for me, they really didn't bother me, because I was like, I have this goal and I know there are people out there that need help. I just have to find them.
Exactly. So
awesome. Well, any other tips that you want to share before we sign off?
No, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, those would be my, she came up with the tips on her own, but those would be my number 1 tips for a brand new coach, for a coach 2, 3, 4 months in, for a coach who's been in the business for 5, 6, 7 years. Like it is going back to those basics and always going back to those basics. It's easy to get off track from them, but those are the things that are going to create success. And I love that you mentioned being social in the mastermind sessions, because I do find that people who don't put the emphasis on showing up to those or posting a team page don't have that connection. They do feel alone. They do feel like they're going through everything by themselves when they don't have to be. Like I love the mastermind sessions. I love being able to chat with everyone every week and, you know, see them face to face. So
totally.
Definitely. Well, I'm really excited because we'll probably have Emily back in a couple months when we're recognizing her as a diamond, and she'll have even more tips to share on how to get to diamond because she does a great job, much better than I did, of taking everything that's given to her and creating, you know, documents in Google Drive and things like that to share with her team. So she's constantly impressing me, and I know she has a really bright future. So I hope these tips have helped you. If you have any questions, comment below on the YouTube channel, and I'll make sure that Emily gets your questions so she can answer, or you can post in our team page as well. Hope you all have a great rest of your Monday.